You are cleared for landing.
Remakes, the bane of existence for movies and video games alike. Some of them do really well and hit the mark, or they're essentially god-awful. That's why when I saw the announcement of Dead Space being remade after the announcement of Callisto Protocol, I thought to myself, oh man, here we go again. EA is going to try and remake something and completely screw it up. Contrary to my immediate thoughts, EA and Motive are doing something new that I haven't seen them do by showing us their creative side. This right here, by the way, I'm gonna pause a couple of times, but this right here shows respectful homage to the second game. These Planet Cracker vessels have been around for so long, and so has this world. If that's the case, both suits from the first and second game should launch off just like this. And this, man, this is good. This is so good. The way that the audio and visuals look right now in pre-alpha give me hope for this game. The audio cues, Isaac's breathing depending on vitals, and how long he runs. The way the limbs get eviscerated when a necromorph gets hit by the plasma cutter. It all just looks incredible. Mind you, the monsters still jump out across the map before they attack you, but with the unpredictable mechanics in the game, from what they've told us, should make the game feel fresh and new for every playthrough. That is going to be amazing. That is something that Dead Space has always needed, and I'm very glad that they're taking this approach because I don't want it to feel very one note. I don't want to be like, yep, I know you're coming from that window. Yep, I know that you're coming from the floorboards. Yep, I know that you're coming from the ceiling. I don't want to feel that. I want to feel like, are they going to come from the ceiling? No, he's coming from the hallway. No, that's what I want. So I'm very glad that they're doing this. What they've done with the environment when it comes to audio is nothing short of unique and amazing, and the visuals make it so clean yet terrifying. I cannot wait to get scared and surprised. But that's another thing that I'm very excited about. The visuals of them being dismembered is so unique. This is now something that I'm very glad that they're taking in this approach because Dead Space, again, needs this if you're gonna make a remake. I love that they took cutscenes and transitions from Dead Space 2 and implemented them into the game as well. They really went with making this game feel like we're stuck in this world, and I am all for it. What's interesting is striking distance isn't showing their hand, but could this be a bad thing from them? I mean, Glenn Schofield hasn't let us down with the games that he's had his hands on. Modern Warfare 3 is still argued today as one of the best CODs that has ever existed, and I'd argue to be top 5 for sure. Dead Space 1 and 2 really took survival horror to the next level. Even if Dead Space 2 was a little more action than horror, it still brought a sense of dread and mystery into the storyline. And giving Isaac a chance to show his personality more helped us connect to him and the hurdles that he's faced. I didn't mind him not saying anything in Dead Space 1, but I felt like I couldn't really connect with him like I did in Dead Space 2. This is why I'm thrilled about striking distance. Even if it's almost the same formula as Dead Space 1, I'm very much okay with this, because if all else fails, they can bring back what visceral games had, an incredible story to tell. And let me tell you, this game will be giving EA Motive a run for their money. I'm sorry, but just watching that right there, yes, they do have a kinetic kind of thing, but it grabs somebody, you can hold them, and you can kind of throw them in a certain area. You've got dodging and blocking and counters, making the combat more unique. You can completely destroy and dishevel someone's arm, face, and chest, and they're gonna upgrade in the middle of a fight and come after you again. This is crazy. Taking the baton and trying to beat somebody, and instead they counter it and try to hit you instead. This looks so good already when it comes to combat that even if the monster is coming from the opposite side of the room and coming after me, I still feel, in a sense of dread, because this is not going to be enough. These are not going to be enough. I need to dodge out of the way. I need to, hit counters. I need to try and grab him and throw him to the opposite side of the room and try to stun him. I can grab him and use him as a body shield against other monsters. That's so cool to see. And that opens up the world more with, okay, well, what else can you do with these things? What else can you do with these tools? And that's just a minute into the gameplay. That's just a minute in. We've got more to show you. From the combat, to the stealth, to the evolution of their monsters. This shows to me that they kept some great aspects from Visceral Games and Dead Space in mind and decided to enhance it even more into their format. In the past, Visceral Games wasn't afraid to give us everything above, as well as an enriched story filled of mystery and excitement. What did they mean by make us whole? Who were the unitologists? What is their plan with these markers? And why are they so hidden, yet well known within the cosmos? These were some of the questions I had as a kid playing the game. And also, why does Isaac throw his hands like that? Flailing his arms like they're numb after his girlfriend slept on them for too long. The best part of this game wasn't just the gory death scenes or how you were able to run and gun, slicing your enemies into bits. It was also the claustrophobic environment being beautifully crafted within the story of these monsters that had more than a thrill to kill. There was deception, mental illness, a religious and political war, fighting for love and survival, all while making the USG Ishimura whole again while everything else fell apart. See what I did there? You may notice that I didn't mention Dead Space 3, and that's because it's riddled with flaws, even if the story felt larger than life. EA made a huge mistake by putting a pay-to-win system into this game and basically removed the thing that made Dead Space incredible in the first place: horror and suspense. I'm not going to go too much into this topic because that's a whole video within itself, but I'm hopeful that with EA motive and their creativity, they're really focusing on making this one of the best remakes possible and really showing how innovative they are after just 14 years. I can tell from how they talk about it and how they show it to the world that this game is going to be incredible. In conclusion, this is going to be an anxious couple of months while we wait for these two games, both similar in genre and format, yet completely different in their approach and motives. I'd argue that EA and Motive are trying to not only right the wrongs that they've done to a franchise, but they're also trying to prove themselves to be able to tango with the best of the best when it comes to survival horror. Striking Distance, however, is trying to prove that they still got it with Glenn at the forefront of this operation, while also saying to the gaming world, hey, we are here and we don't intend on leaving. We will be the best in the business when it comes to making survival horror, and you haven't seen anything yet. I personally will be getting both and giving you an in-depth analysis of both games, as well as their collector editions, if I can get my hands on them. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what else you'd like to hear my opinion about. Like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.